Hi, I'm Irving. You have just entered Cartertopia.
And the wonders that you do.
It's another big secret call from the boss. What's it about? Who knows? When he hollers, they skedaddle.
This is the final transmission of Naval Lieutenant Commander Mansfield while flying over Quadrant 4.
Mayday, mayday, tower, instruments, vibrations, terrific heat, I'm out of control, I don't know, help,
It happened pretty much in the heart of the Bermuda Triangle. But what was he doing there in the first place?
We now feel, however, that recent incidents were deliberately created to enhance its mystique for the express purpose of stopping our Operation Sea Harvest.
Stop a pilot program for farming the sea?
Subterfuge.
In other words, a lie. Promise the world food, deliver them a bigger, better nuclear bomb.
To cover the establishment of an advanced type of nuclear breeder test station here. Longitude 3022 degrees, latitude 6447 degrees, where there are no inhabited islands in case of a mishap.
No inhabited islands that you know of. Diana knows of one, and they're doing this thing pretty much in her backyard. But there's even more to it than that.
Our sources are now convinced that the test facility is in danger of being sabotaged by this man.
Raymond Manta. As dangerous as the manta ray.
No stranger to the intelligence sector.
Right, sir. The head of ICOPE, International Confederation of the Power Elite.
We suspect he's behind the trouble in the triangle.
The plan is for Steve and Diana to pose as a couple of rich swingers, jet-setters, and go where? Atkinson never actually says. Are they going to Manta's Island? To the nuclear facility? To St. Thomas for some scuba diving? If they don't want those tickets, I'll take them.
Well, we're going to have to get you outfitted, and especially you, Diana. Oh, Diana, I certainly didn't mean to imply that you aren't a swinger. Well, I mean that you won't have to do you don't have to do anything, Diana. Now, we all know that you're a girl of...
I like the way they're both just standing there letting him dig the hole deeper and deeper.
Proper values.
Joe, this is not the first time we've gone undercover.
Of course, I'm going to need receipts for accounting from you, Steve.
Have I ever failed accounting?
No. But according to your record, you're wanting in math. You got a C- in high school algebra.
Later at her apartment, Diana transforms and sits down in front of a mirror.
You wanted to speak with me, Diana?
I'm being sent on a mission to arrest an international criminal named Raymond Manta.
That's part of your duty, isn't it?
But he's operating within the Bermuda Triangle. And if we stop him, America will build a nuclear experimental facility only a few miles from Paradise Island.
You swore an allegiance to your new friends.
Yes.
You cannot go back on your pledge. In times of trouble, I can only turn to Amazonian philosophy. When you see the heart of darkness, you will begin to perceive the light.
I'm not sure that I understand.
In time, all will be clear to you.
Since when does Hippolyta talk in riddles? That is not in character. She said it's Amazon philosophy, but it's still talking in riddles. She doesn't do that. The next day, Steve and Diana charter a private jet and head into the triangle. It's 1977. There's at least dozens of satellites in orbit looking at every square inch of Earth. For being in that situation, there sure are a lot of uncharted islands still hanging around. Manta gets word that they're coming. He knows who they are, who they're with, he's tracking their jet and knows what they're probably there for. About the only thing he doesn't know is that Diana is Wonder Woman, and he's working on that.
Add another mystery to the Bermuda Triangle. Use the lighthouse to bring them down.
Yes, sir.
That's not what a lighthouse is for. I'm not sure you understand. It's sending out a pulsed laser beam that knocks out the plane's engines and electronics and heats the cabin to an unbearable level. They have to bail out. Not a very graceful landing. Medal of Honor Airborne wouldn't give you a very good score for it, but she did better than Steve did.
Steve!
He's unconscious in a tree. She transforms and gets him down, then changes back and puts her parachute back on.
Diana. Diana, you okay?
She says, "It was great the way you got me out of that tree." He doesn't remember anything, but he buys it anyway because he's a guy, and of course he was the hero of the story. I wonder why she brought up the tree at all. He didn't remember anything about it, so what was the point? To let him be the hero of the story, of course. I believe I just said that. They stash the parachutes and set up a small camp. They have no idea where they are, so they have no idea how long they'll be there. May as well get comfortable. Maybe think about repopulating the island. Oh, come on, as if they both haven't thought about it dozens of times. Have you seen the way Steve and Wonder Woman look at each other? If the camera wasn't there, God only knows what would happen. While Diana is dealing with several rips in her pants, Steve checked the lake and caught a lobster?
Hey, come on, soup's on.
Not yet.
Catch 'em. You're supposed to cook 'em. That's the deal.
I know, but the parachute string and your penknife aren't exactly a seamstress's delight. There. The jungle look.
Nice look. They sit down to eat the lobster, but of course they're interrupted.
Come on, let's go. Grab my shirt. I cope.
We've landed right in the lion's den.
Next thing they know, the soldiers have found their parachutes. Diana says, "Well, they know we're here, so we may as well know where they are. Let's go find them."
Radio, radar, get a load of that.
Manta goes first class.
I'd like to set up on that ridge with a few mortar rounds. I'd give him first class.
Well, I'd settle for getting out of here and letting Atkinson send a destroyer.
One thing I do appreciate in this season is the way Steve sort of looks out for Diana, but he knows how capable she is in her own right, and he treats her like an equal. She may be a pay grade lower than he is, but he knows he'd be tripping over his ineptitude without her.
Steve, that Radio Shack. Any way of getting a message out?
What message? Come and get us? We don't even know where we are for sure.
Well, maybe you could tie down the key. That'd send out a constant signal. Maybe our people would pick it up.
It's a good idea.
By 1977, they could use a satellite or two to triangulate the source of a signal. A constant carrier wave is an anomaly, and considering all the other stuff happening in the area, you bet the military would investigate. Steve wouldn't have thought of that, and he knows it. But now that she thought of it, he knows how to make it happen. He heads off to do that while Diana looks for a boat they can use to get the heck off this island. She found a boat. A boat that they're loading with high explosives. Okay, what else you got?
There. That'll send out a constant signal. ICOPE will think the key is dead. Should be a long time before they discover otherwise.
By which time we'll be long gone. Steve, I located a boat. Our ticket out of here.
All you have to do is sneak past the guys loading the explosives. Shouldn't be a problem until they spot a flaw in their plan.
It's Mansfield.
The young Navy pilot from the transmission we heard. Steve, he's alive.
They know they can't leave him behind. They steal some uniforms. The only problem is there are no women in this army, and it's hard for Diana to hide certain features.
Oh boy, it's not going to be easy. At least I'm a major. We've got a little rank. Let's go.
They head to the motor pool where Major won't say his name demands a jeep. With enough browbeating, he gets one. Diana, constantly trying to hide her boobs and makeup, is his driver.
Sergeant, why are you staring at my driver?
It's just... he's got a funny build on him, sir.
That happens to be the regimental karate champion. I wouldn't say that to his face.
He worked a little too much on his pecs. They release Mansfield and put him in the jeep just as Manta comes out of his office and spots them.
Now the race is on and here comes Pride in the backstretch. Heartache going to the inside.
Come on, step on it.
You're not going to believe this.
Get moving, will you?
Out of gas.
That's not funny, Diana.
Should have taken the other jeep. The soldiers take them to Manta. In Washington, Joe Atkinson is talking to the president again. He explains the constant radio signal and says it's right in the area where Steve and Diana bailed out, and it's coming from an island that's supposed to be uninhabited. The most likely explanation is that Steve and Diana are alive, and they found a way to use Manta's radio against him.
Gather you want to organize a search party.
A search force, sir. The destroyer Jefferson is on maneuvers in that area. I'd like to cut orders that will send her right into Manta's lap. And, sir, I request permission to lead the operation.
Your project has a go, Atkinson, top priority. But I'm afraid you'll have to stay. Sorry, Joe.
Well, the worst he could do is say no, and maybe make fun of him a little. But that president was above that kind of thing. In Manta's HQ, Diana says, "You'll go down just like everyone else who ever wanted to rule the world."
Me, I'm just a simple profiteer. I go to one country and I say, look, your neighbor's got a gun. And I sell him a cannon. And then I go to the first country.
And you say, your neighbors have a cannon, and you sell them a bomb.
Yes. Isn't it glorious?
While I don't agree with his alternative way of earning a living, I do agree that ruling the world sounds like way too much work. He tells them the IADC is the biggest obstacle to my business. I know a lot about them, but there's nothing like first-hand information. The kind I can get from you three.
Your people are playing cops and robbers with me. Might be profitable to find out where the cops are, huh? Profitable for us both.
Manta, there's a lady present, or I would tell you precisely what you can do with your proposition.
Let me tell him.
Just then, their defense grid detects the ship headed their way.
Activate the Stingray.
Yes, sir.
The Stingray is an underwater drone with enough firepower to take out half the Navy, much less one ship. It's computer guided and also has nuclear capability. And that's what he intends to use on the USS Jefferson. In a cell with a guard, Steve and Diana work out a plan. They go into the act.
Look, take it easy. We'll be all right. Don't worry. We'll get out of this thing.
I can't stand it anymore.
Come on, get a hold of yourself, Diana.
No, I don't care.
Don't do it.
He's got us. He'll kill us. I'll do whatever he wants. Take me to Manta.
What's the matter with you?
Take me to him.
You can't
I'll
break.
talk.
You
I'll
can't
do
tell him what
whatever.
he wants to.
Steve doesn't think this will work, but he doesn't know the real reason Diana wants to do it. To his dismay, they take her away and leave him behind. It actually works. When all the guards are gone, she transforms and heads down to the boat dock.
Limpet Mines.
We haven't seen bullets and bracelets for a while. Let's fix that.
Diana!
Going by where she deflected most of those, these guys can't shoot worth beans. They scamper away and report the amazing woman to Manta. Wonder Woman takes a limpet mine and moves over to the railing. I have several questions. First and foremost, when did she get a wetsuit? Where'd it come from? Who made it? Who gave it to her? We're back to the Batman syndrome. Only my fill-in-the-blank can save us now. She needs a wetsuit because she's planning to swim out to the Stingray and plant that limpet mine on it. But another question is, why? Why is she swimming at all? Why doesn't she use the boat to get out where it is, then jump in the water and plant the mine? I find it hard to believe that neither Wonder Woman nor Diana would think of that. And finally, when did she get a wetsuit? In his control room, Manta is monitoring the upcoming rendezvous between the Stingray and the Jefferson. He's brought Steve in to watch. How are they seeing those things? Where are the cameras? As the two draw closer and closer, Wonder Woman swims around in a pool until she locates the Stingray. And yes, we all know it's really the model of the sea view from Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Wonder Woman prepares to blow up a bit of TV history. I like how it didn't stick the first time. Just as Manta prepares to fire and claim another victim for the Bermuda Triangle, the mine explodes.
It's impossible.
It's Wonder Woman.
That's impossible! Impossible! Failure! Abject failure!
Manta tells his men to prepare for battle, then goes over to a hidden panel.
Those switches. You've rigged the building to self-destruct. Building?
This whole island. Your men will land and my men will keep them busy until 1 hour from now.
He takes Steve as a hostage and they head for a hidden cove where he has a boat waiting. Wonder Woman changes out of the wetsuit and heads back to the road. She sees what's happening with Steve, gets ahead of their Jeep, and jumps up into a tree. That was delightful. Steve jumps into the driver's seat and comes back. He says, "What about Diana?" Wonder Woman says, "Oh, I found her and got her to safety." Steve explains about the bomb just as American troops are landing on the island. So now they have to evacuate the Americans and persuade Manta's men to give up and jump on the ship. They have half an hour.
Congratulations on your escape. This is a replay of the explosion you witnessed from the deck of the destroyer Jefferson.
What about Manta's men? Did they make it?
Because of the resulting fissures in the ocean floor, we've been forced to abandon our experimental program in the Bermuda Triangle.
Can't you just hear Diana thinking, "Aw, darn"?
I'm delighted to inform you that Lieutenant Commander Mansfield is in the hospital and doing fine, and that Manta is in jail where he belongs. Good. I would have led the operation, but he wouldn't let me.
There were times when we really needed you, Joe.
Well, I was with you in spirit, you know that.
More than that, you sent the Navy.
Hey, it was your plan.
Oh, that's right. It was.
I'm not sure why Joe needed that little ego boost, but he obviously appreciated it. We never find out about Manta's men. That's just one problem. We have Hippolyta talking in riddles that Wonder Woman eventually says she understands, but never explains. Wonder Woman has to stop an underwater threat, so she pulls a wetsuit out of her magic belt and swims to it when there's a boat right there. A boat she was planning on stealing anyway. In every underwater scene, she's obviously in a pool. This is generally considered one of the worst episodes of the series, and I have to agree. They weren't even trying. Manta said he would never let his creation fall into enemy hands, but that doesn't require blowing up the whole island, just the buildings and bunkers. The only reason to blow the whole island was to keep that nuclear facility from being built near Paradise Island. The only real redeeming feature is the way we're developing Joe, Steve, and Diana into a hierarchy of equals. There's a chain of command, but who needs it? They're usually on the same wavelength anyway. And when somebody steps in it the way Joe did at the beginning, they laugh it off because it's nothing. It really reflects the changing attitudes of the time, especially towards women, and it reflects all the positive things about those changes. Now, if we could just get a decent story to go with it. I'm Irving, and you are now exiting Cartertopia.